I always thought being a good husband meant staying quiet when things hurt. I believed love was endurance, not comfort. I'm tired, Elena said that night, not looking at me. I need space. I nodded and loosened my tie. Do you want to talk? I asked. She sighed like I annoyed her. Not everything needs a discussion. I worked 12 hours that day. I paid the rent, the lights, the phone. I told myself those things mattered. I'll make dinner, I said. I already ate, she replied. Her phone buzzed. She smiled at it, then locked the screen. I noticed, but I said nothing. Can you sleep on the floor tonight? She asked suddenly. I laughed once, thinking she joked. She didn't smile. I just need the bed to myself, she said. Please don't make this hard. My chest felt tight. Okay, I said. If that helps. I grabbed a blanket and pillow. The floor was cold. I lay down beside the bed like a shadow. Thank you, she said softly, already turning away. I stared at the underside of the mattress and waited for sleep. Minutes passed. Then voices. A man laughed, low and relaxed. I sat up. Elena. I whispered. The bedroom door opened. She stepped out, calm. Behind her stood a man I didn't know. This is Ryan, she said. He's just a friend. Ryan smiled at me like I was furniture. Hey, man, he said. Hope that's cool. My mouth opened, then closed. It's fine, I heard myself say. Elena touched his arm. He'll stay over, she said. You don't mind, right? I wanted to ask 1,000 questions. I wanted to scream. Instead I nodded. Of course, I said. Ryan walked past me and sat on my bed. My bed. He kicked off his shoes. Long day, he said. Elena laughed. That sound cut deeper than words. I lay back down. The ceiling had a crack shaped like a river. I followed it with my eyes. You okay down there? Elena asked from above me. Yeah, I said. I'm fine. I told myself I was imagining things. Friends sleep over. Couples need space. Trust means patience. I pulled the blanket to my chin. The bed creaked. I heard breathing that wasn't mine. Laughter again. I pressed my face into the pillow and whispered, "This will pass." I believed it. I had to. I stayed still. My body felt small. You can turn off the light, Elena said. It's too bright. Sorry, I replied. Ryan chuckled. House rules, huh? He said. I forced a smile no one saw. Yeah, I said. Rules help. Elena clicked the lamp off. Darkness settled. I listened to them move. Sheets rustled. A zipper slid. My stomach twisted. Relax, Elena said. Nothing weird is happening. I'm relaxed, I answered quickly. Good, she said. I need you to be supportive. Supportive. The word echoed. I love you, I said, desperate. She didn't answer. Ryan cleared his throat. Night, he said. Night, I replied. My jaw ached from holding still. I counted breaths. 1, 2, 3. I imagined this was temporary. Tomorrow we would talk. Tomorrow she would choose me. I whispered promises to the ceiling. I would work harder. I would listen better. I would wait. The floor pressed into my bones. Above me, the bed shifted, claimed, occupied. I stared upward, eyes burning, and told myself love meant staying down. I didn't move. I didn't cry. I didn't knock. I lay there, learning my place without being told again. Every sound from the bed wrote it into me. I was the husband on the floor. I was quiet. I was patient. I was already losing, and I didn't even know it yet. The ceiling watched me. The dark listened. I held my breath and stayed still, believing silence could save me, believing love would reward me, believing this pain was temporary, believing I was still wanted. I stared upward until my eyes burned, until sleep took me, while another man rested above me, in my place, in my bed. And I told myself tomorrow would fix everything, even as something inside me quietly broke. That was night I learned endurance hurts. I started noticing things I used to ignore. Elena stopped asking how my day went. "You're late," she said one evening, eyes glued to her phone. "Traffic," I replied. "You always have excuses," she muttered. I stood there, unsure what to say. Ryan was already on the couch. "Hey," he said, relaxed, feet on the table. "Didn't know you'd be back so soon." I forced a smile. "It's my house," I said. Elena shot me a look. "Don't start," she warned. Ryan stayed late again. And again. "He's just crashing," Elena said. "Stop counting minutes." One night I asked, "Why does he need to stay every time?" She laughed sharply. "Because he listens," she said. "Unlike you." My stomach dropped. "I listen," I said. "You hear noise," she snapped. "You don't hear me." Ryan watched, silent. "Do you want him here?" I asked quietly. Elena rolled her eyes. "God, you're insecure." "I'm confused," I said. "Same thing," she replied. She moved closer to me, voice low. "You're paranoid. You imagine problems because you feel small." I blinked. "Why would you say that?" She shrugged. "Truth hurts." I went quiet. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was failing her. Ryan stood up. "I'll grab a drink," he said, walking past me like I wasn't there. The door closed behind him. "You see." Elena said, "You make everything awkward." I nodded, ashamed. The bed stayed cold. I slept on the floor more nights than not. At work, Maya noticed. "You look exhausted," she said. "Did you sleep?" I smiled weakly. "Not much." She frowned. "Is everything okay at home?" I hesitated. "Yeah," I said. "Marriage stuff." She leaned closer. "You don't have to lie." I laughed nervously. "I'm fine." "You don't look fine," she said gently. "Sometimes when people treat you badly, it helps to notice." I stiffened. "Elena's just stressed," I said quickly. "She loves me." Maya studied my face. "Just be careful," she said. "You deserve rest." That night Ryan stayed again. Elena didn't even ask me anymore. "You can take the floor," she said. "He's tired." "So am I replied. She scoffed. "You always complain." I lay down without another word. Above me, voices whispered. Laughter followed. I pressed my hands over my ears. "You're imagining things," I told myself. "You're overreacting." The next morning Elena rushed out. "Don't touch my phone," she said. "I won't," I replied. Ryan smirked. "Trust issues kill relationships," he said. I nodded like a student being corrected. After they left, I stood alone. I sat on the bed for the first time in days. Something caught my eye. A long strand of hair lay on the pillow. It wasn't mine. It wasn't Elena's. My hand shook. "You're still overthinking," I whispered. But my chest felt hollow. The bed felt joy. I stared at that hair until the truth settled heavy and slow. Something was wrong. Something had been wrong for a long time. And I had been convincing myself not to see it. I heard Maya's voice in my head saying, "Notice." I hated that word. I wanted proof, not feelings. That evening I tried again. "Elena, can we talk?" I asked. She didn't look up. "About what now?" "About us," I said. Ryan glanced over, amused. "Maybe later," she said. "We are busy." "Busy doing what?" I asked. She slammed her phone down. "See," she said to him. "This is why I can't breathe." Ryan laughed softly. "Man, you really need to relax," he said. I felt heat in my face. "This is my marriage," I said. Elena stood. "And you're ruining it," she replied. "If you keep pushing, you'll lose me." My throat tightened. "I'm already losing you," I whispered. She crossed her arms. "That's dramatic." Ryan shook his head. "I'd never treat a woman like this," he said. Elena smiled at him. I felt invisible. That night I lay awake, staring up. "I'm not crazy," I told myself. "I just love her." The words felt thin. In the dark, I understood something I didn't want to accept. Love shouldn't feel like shrinking. It shouldn't feel like begging for space in your own home. I listened to the bed creak again. I didn't move. I didn't knock. I stayed quiet, because being quiet was safer than knowing the truth. I stared at the ceiling and finally admitted one thought. This bed, this house, this life no longer belonged to me at all. And that truth scared me more than loneliness could. I left work early that night. My hand shook as I unlocked the door. I heard voices before I stepped inside the bedroom. Elena laughed, soft and careless. A man answered her, relaxed, confident. I knew the voice. My chest burned. I pushed the door open. Ryan was in my bed, wearing my grey shirt. My shirt. Elena sat beside him, calm, unbothered. She didn't flinch. "You're home," she said. I stared. "Get out," I whispered. Ryan smirked. "Relax, man." I looked at Elena. "Tell me this isn't what it looks like." She crossed her legs. "It's exactly what it looks like." My ears rang. "How long?" I asked. She shrugged. "Long enough." I swallowed. "Why?" "Because you failed," she said. "You stopped being a man." I shook my head. "I worked for us. I stayed." "You slept on the floor," she snapped. "You let me walk all over you." Ryan laughed. "She's got a point." I clenched my fists. "Shut up." He raised his hands. "See? That tone right there. Too late now." I looked back at her. "You let him wear my clothes." She smiled. "They fit him better." Something inside me cracked. "Did you ever love me?" She sighed. "Love isn't enough when a man is weak." I felt hollow. "So this is my fault?" "Yes," she said without pause. "You bored me." Ryan leaned back. "I give her what you couldn't." I waited for anger. It didn't come. I felt tired. "I'm done," I said quietly. Elena blinked. "You're not even going to fight?" "No," I said. "I won't beg." Ryan laughed again. "Guess that's why she picked me." I stepped back. "This ends now." She tilted her head. "You're leaving." I nodded. "I have nothing left here." She scoffed. "You'll regret this." "I already do," I said. I grabbed my wallet and phone from the dresser. My hands were steady. "Goodbye." Ryan waved. "Drive safe." I walked out. The door closed behind me. The hallway felt unreal. I reached my car and sat there, breathing hard. My vision blurred. I dialed a number. "Daniel," I said when he answered. "I need help." "What happened?" he asked. "She cheated," I said. "She chose him." There was silence. "Where are you?" "In my car." "Don't drive," he said. "I'm coming." I leaned my head back. I thought if I stayed quiet, she'd stay. "She wasn't worth your silence," he said. "I don't feel like a husband anymore," I whispered. "You're my brother," he replied. "That matters." I stared at the house. I lost everything. "No," Daniel said. "You lost someone who didn't love you." Tears finally fell. "I don't know who I am now." "You'll figure it out," he said. "Tonight, just survive." I ended the call. I started the engine. The house stayed dark. I drove away without looking back. The ring on my finger felt heavy. I pulled it off and set it in the cup holder. I wasn't a husband anymore. I was a man with an empty seat beside him, an open road ahead, and nothing left to lose. I stayed parked for a long time. My phone buzzed. I didn't check it. I said aloud, "It's over." The words felt strange. I remembered promises. "Forever," she once said. I laughed bitterly. Forever lasted until someone louder showed up. I wiped my face. "You warned me," I told myself. "You felt it." I started driving again. My chest hurt, but it was clean pain. I spoke to the empty seat. I gave everything. Silence answered. "I wasn't perfect," I said, "but I was loyal." The road lights passed. Each one felt like a goodbye. I whispered, I won't beg anymore. I thought of the floor, the bed, the laughter. Never again, I said. My phone buzzed again. I glanced. Her name flashed. I turned the screen face down. You don't get me anymore, I said. The car hummed. My breathing slowed. I felt grief, then relief. This is the end, I said. I drove forward, not as a husband, not as a failure, but as someone who finally chose himself. I didn't know the future. I only knew the past was done. Goodbye, I said again. The road opened wider. I held the wheel tight. I will survive this. The night stayed quiet. For the first time, the silence felt honest, not cruel, and I let it carry me away. I drove on, alone, awake, broken, free, and no longer pretending at all. I moved into Daniel's apartment with one bag. He opened the door and said, "You don't have to explain." I nodded and stepped inside. The place was small, quiet, safe. "You can take the couch," he said. "Or the bed." I shook my head. "The couch is fine." He stuttered me. "Stop punishing yourself." I sat down and stared at the wall. "I should have seen it," I said. I let it happen. Daniel sat across from me. "You didn't make her cheat." "I made her bored," I replied. "I made her look elsewhere." "That's not how loyalty works," he said. My phone buzzed. "Elena, what does she want now?" Daniel asked. I opened the message. "She wants money," I said. "She says I owe her." Another buzz followed. "She says the bills are late." I laughed once. "Ryan lives there now." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Block her." "I can't," I said. "She'll twist it." He sighed. "You're still protecting her." That night I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, replaying words. Failed. Weak. Boring. I whispered them like prayers. In the morning Daniel said, "You didn't sleep." "I don't deserve to," I replied. He pushed a mug toward me. "Drink." I took a sip. My hand shook. "She says I ruined her life," I said. "She says I abandoned her." Daniel leaned forward. "She replaced you before you left." "She says Ryan understands her," I added. "She says he's everything I wasn't." Daniel's voice stayed calm. "She's rewriting history." "Maybe she's right," I said. "Maybe I was never enough." My phone buzzed again. "She wants the car payment," I said. "She says I owe it." Daniel shook his head. "She's not sorry." "She said she's struggling," I replied. "She said I should help." "Help her what?" he asked. "Keep controlling you." I didn't answer. Days blurred. I stayed quiet. I avoided mirrors. When Daniel asked, "Did you eat?" I said, "Later." When he said, "Go outside," I said, "Tomorrow." One night he sat beside me. "You need help," he said. "I'm not crazy," I replied. "I'm just tired." "That's not what I meant," he said. "Talk to someone." I laughed bitterly. "So they can tell me I failed." "So you can survive," he replied. I went to see Dr. Harris because Daniel wouldn't stop asking. The office smelled clean. "Why are you here?" Dr. Harris asked. "My wife cheated," I said. "And I think it's my fault." "Why?" he asked. "Because I stayed," I said. "Because I slept on the floor." He nodded slowly. "What did that teach her?" I swallowed. That I'd accept anything. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Dr. Harris said, "You don't have to answer." I looked anyway. Elena again. "She wants more," I said. "She always wants more." "What do you want?" he asked. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. That scared me. That night Daniel said, "She's draining you." "She needs me," I replied. "No," he said. "She uses you." I stared at the wall. "She never apologized," I whispered. Daniel nodded. "Because she thinks she's owed." The words landed hard. Owed. I replayed her messages. Not sorry. Not regret. Demands. What if I stop? I asked quietly. Daniel looked at me. Stop what? What if I stop suffering? The question felt dangerous. My chest tightened. Would that make me cruel? I asked. Daniel shook his head. It would make you alive. I lay on the couch that night, awake again. My phone buzzed. I didn't pick it up. I whispered to the dark, what if I choose myself? The silence answered, steady and real. For the first time since I left, I didn't feel small. I felt afraid. And beneath the fear, something new waited. I decided I wouldn't beg anymore. Daniel asked, so what now? I said, I stopped chasing. He nodded once. Good. I sent Elena one message. We'll talk only by text. She replied fast. Don't be dramatic. I didn't answer. That silence felt heavier than words. I woke up early the next day. I deleted old messages. I saved new ones. I took screenshots. I started writing dates down. Daniel noticed. What's that? He asked. Proof, I said. At work, Maya watched me closely. You look different, she said. Tired, but straighter. I shrugged. I'm trying not to bend. She smiled. That matters. We sat with coffee. I'm not looking for anything, I told her. Good, she said. Neither am I. That made breathing easier. Elena kept texting. I need money. The bills are late. Ryan lost his job. I stared at the screen. I typed, I can't help. My thumb shook, but I sent it. She called. I didn't answer. She texted, how can you do this to me? I whispered, by choosing myself. I kept saving messages. I checked bank statements. I saw how much I paid. I saw how little she did. I felt stupid. Then I felt clear. Daniel said, that's awareness. Maya asked, are you safe right now? I said, yes. Elena called again. I answered once. You're abandoning me, she said. You promised forever. I replied, forever didn't include betrayal. She cried. Ryan made mistakes. I said, so did you. She snapped, you're heartless. I said, I'm calm. She said, I need you. I answered, you want control. She paused. You owe me, she said. We are married. I replied, marriage needs respect. She raised her voice. I'll take you to court. I breathed slowly. That's your choice, I said. She laughed. You don't stand a chance. I said, I've been preparing. Silence followed. The call ended. I sat on the couch and felt guilt knock. I let it pass. Self-respect stayed. I opened my notes again. I added one line. I choose. I sat in the lawyer's office and said very little. Elena talked first. He abandoned me, she said. He cut me off. I kept my hands folded. The lawyer asked, can you show financial records? I slid the folder forward. Elena frowned. What is that? I said, everything. The lawyer flipped pages. Mortgage payments, utilities, credit cards, he said. All paid by you. Elena's face tightened. That's not the point, she said. Marriage isn't about money. I spoke calmly. It matters when you claim I owe you. Ryan shifted beside her. You never told me this, he muttered. Elena snapped. Stay out of it. The lawyer looked at Ryan. You live in the house. Ryan hesitated. Yes. Do you pay rent? The lawyer asked. Ryan looked at Elena. She said it was fine. I stayed silent. Elena's voice rose. He agreed to support us. I said, I agreed to support my wife. Ryan scoffed. Wow. The lawyer raised a hand. Facts only. I passed another page. Messages, I said. Demands for money. Elena glanced at them and went pale. You saved those? She asked. Yes, I replied. Ryan leaned back. You told me he was useless, he said. You said he didn't do anything. Elena whispered, not now. The lawyer cleared his throat. It appears the financial burden was one-sided. Elena's eyes filled. "You're painting me as a villain," she said. I answered, "I'm showing numbers." Silence followed. In the hallway, Sophia approached me. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know." I nodded. "I didn't either." She looked at Elena through the glass. "She said you were controlling." I replied, "I paid bills." Sophia sighed. "That's not control." Back inside, Elena cried. "I made mistakes," she said. "I was lonely." I felt nothing. That scared me. "I'm sorry," she added. "Please." I didn't respond. Ryan rubbed his face. "You ruined us," he told her. "You lied." Elena snapped. "You lost your job." Ryan laughed bitterly. "You said he'd keep paying." I watched them unravel. The lawyer spoke again. "We'll proceed with equitable division." Elena looked at me. "Say something," she begged. I said, "I have nothing to add." Her shoulders dropped. Outside, Sophia stopped me. "You handled that well," she said. "I wanted to scream," I admitted. "But I didn't." She nodded. "That's strength." Elena called later. I answered once. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I didn't think you'd fight back." I replied, "I'm not fighting." "Then help me," she said. "I can't," I answered. "Please," she whispered. "I feel empty," I said. The line went quiet. I stared at my phone. No anger. No joy. Just calm. Daniel asked, "How do you feel?" I said, "Light." Maya texted, "You okay?" I replied, "Yes." That surprised me. Karma didn't shout. It didn't punish loudly. It showed receipts. It let people hear their own lies. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I slept that night without replaying words. Elena texted again. I didn't answer. The silence felt earned. I realized something as I lay there. I didn't need revenge. I needed truth. And the truth had spoken for me, quietly, completely, without asking my permission. Elena showed up without warning. Daniel opened the door and froze. "She's here," he said. I stood up. "I'll handle it." She stepped inside, eyes red, hand shaking. "Ryan left," she said. I nodded. "I know." "He blamed me," she whispered. "He said I ruined everything." I replied, "You made choices." She looked at me like I was a stranger. "I have no money," she said. "I'm behind on everything." I crossed my arms. "That's not my problem." She flinched. "Please," she said. "I messed up." I took a breath. "Yes, you did." She cried harder. "I was angry," she said. "I felt invisible." I answered calmly. "I felt erased." She stepped closer. "I see it now," she said. "I hurt you." I didn't move. "You hurt yourself too." She reached for my arm. "We can fix this." I pulled back. "No," she shook her head. "You're being cruel." I said, "I'm being honest." She raised her voice. "You weren't perfect." I nodded. "I wasn't." "You ignored me," she said. "You chose work." I replied, "I chose responsibility." She whispered, "I needed more." I said, "You needed respect." Silence stretched. Daniel stood nearby, quiet. Elena looked around. "You're really done," she said. "Yes," I answered. "I don't hate you." She laughed bitterly. "That's worse." I shrugged. "It's peace." She dropped onto the couch. "I lost everything," she said. I replied, "So did I." She looked up. "Why won't you punish me?" I said, "Because I don't need to." She stared. "I thought you'd want revenge." I shook my head. "I want closure." Her shoulders slumped. "I was wrong," she said. "I know," I replied. "Too late?" she asked. "Yes," I said. She covered her face. "I don't recognize myself." I answered, I didn't recognize myself either. Dr. Harris's words echoed in my head. Closure isn't forgiveness, he'd said. It's release. Elena stood slowly. Is there really nothing left? She asked. I met her eyes. Nothing healthy. She nodded, defeated. I thought you'd break, she said. You always bent. I replied, I learned. Daniel stepped forward. You should go, he said gently. Elena looked at me one last time. I'm sorry, she said, finally real. I felt it land and pass through me. Take care, I said. She walked to the door. Her hand hovered on the handle. I don't know how to live without you, she said. I answered, You'll learn. The door closed. I sat down. My legs shook. Daniel asked, You okay? I said, Yes. That surprised me. Later, at Dr. Harris's office, he asked, How did it feel? I said, Quiet. He smiled. That's growth. I don't want her to suffer, I said. I just don't want to suffer anymore. That's freedom, he replied. I walked home alone. The street felt wide. I realized something simple and strong. I didn't win because she lost. I won because I stood. I kept walking. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Behind me, a door had closed. Ahead of me, my spine felt straight. I was done breaking that I moved into my new place on a quiet morning. Maya helped carry a box and said, It's small, but it feels calm. I smiled. Calm is all I want. She set the box down. You look better, she said. Stronger. I shrugged. I sleep now. She laughed softly. That helps. We sat on the floor with coffee. No rush, she said. I like slow. I nodded. So do I. Days passed without noise. Daniel called. How's the place? He asked. Peaceful, I said. Good, he replied. You earned that. Elena didn't call anymore. No texts. No demands. The silence felt clean. One evening Maya asked, Do you miss her? I thought before answering. I miss who I thought I was, I said. She nodded. That's honest. We didn't hold hands. We didn't promise anything. That felt right. I bought a bed. When the delivery guy asked, Where do you want it? I said, Right here. I lay on it alone that night. No floor. No voices. Just quiet. I whispered, This is mine. Maya visited later. She sat at the edge and said, You okay? I said, Yes. She smiled. That matters. I told her, I learned boundaries. She asked, Painful lesson. I replied, Necessary. She squeezed my hand once and let go. I watched her leave without fear. Ryan's name meant nothing now. Elena's memory felt distant, like a story I finished reading. At therapy, Dr. Harris asked, What does victory look like? I said, Silence. He smiled. That's growth. I walked home and felt light. I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. No cracks to follow. No guilt to carry. I breathed and slept, knowing peace was enough. I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. Daniel called and asked, You awake? I said, Yes. Thinking? He asked. Always, I replied. He laughed softly. Different thoughts now. Clear ones, I said. He paused. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too, I answered. That still felt new. Maya texted, Did you eat? I typed, Yes. She replied, Good. I smiled. No drama. No fixing. Just care. I rolled onto my side and whispered, This is enough. I remembered the floor, the cold, the silence. I said out loud, I survived that. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it. I didn't owe curiosity anymore. I closed my eyes, then opened them again. Awake felt better. I talked to the room. I used to think love meant pain. I shook my head. It doesn't. I thought about Elena. Not with anger. Not with longing. You were a lesson, I said quietly. Not my ending. I remembered begging, shrinking, waiting. I won't do that again. Maya called. Just checking in, she said. I'm okay, I replied. I believe you, she said. Good night. Good night, I answered. I set the phone down. The bed didn't creak with strangers. No laughter cut through walls. I breathed slowly. I thought about justice. Courts. Words. Karma. It didn't roar, I said. It didn't need to. I sat up and looked around. This space held only me. I remembered asking, what if I stop suffering? I smiled. I did. I lay back again. I spoke to myself like a promise. I choose dignity. I remembered the man on the floor. You didn't know better, I said gently. But I do. The ceiling stayed quiet. My heart stayed steady. I wasn't haunted. I wasn't angry. I was awake and whole. I placed a hand on my chest and felt it rise. I'm here, I said. I made it. The thought settled deep. Revenge never saved me. Silence did. Respect did. Walking away did. I closed my eyes and rested without fear. The bed held me. The night passed without voices. I didn't sleep on the floor again. I never would.